Spooky team for a spooky season. That's right, we have a new member of the Undying team coming to the game in Zombie Scarlet Witch. And that can only mean one thing, an update to the Undying infographic. So if you want to know all about this war team from beyond the grave, then join me in this video. Everyone, I'm BPG and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I make at least 2 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week, usually based around the events within the game. However, sometimes I do get time to make videos like this one here. So if you find the content in this video helpful, please do consider giving it a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss another BPG upload. And if you're new around here or not, why not hit a comment down below? I love to speak to each and every single one of you. So who are the Undying? Well, they are a war team that comes out every single Halloween. They are basically a slow drip team where we get one character every single Halloween. And that character generally shifts the war meta quite dramatically, or adds an answer to the current war meta. Now it is mostly consisting of epics outside of Hela, who is fully farmable. So these epic characters, what does that mean if you're new around here and don't know what epics are? Well, they are characters that come out at a certain point in time and then they are vaulted away for a unknown period of time. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 12 months. And then they will come back out again and you can re-get them. This team is based off of the Marvel Zombies comics. So you have characters like Zombie Iron Man and Zombie Juggernaut, and with a recent addition of Zombie Scarlet Witch. So let's look at the characters. Let's start with the lead linchpin of the team, Hela. She has a basic ability called Black Blade. This is going to attack the primary target for 240% damage and flip 1 death proof on the target. It's going to then also attack the most injured enemy for 90% piercing, ignoring taunt, and any characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. Now the T4 on this one is adding 60% damage to the primary target. So that means that you will attack the primary target for 300% damage, and also 10% piercing to the most injured enemy, which will make that 100% piercing, ignoring taunt. And it will also apply bleed to the most injured enemy. I think this is actually a fully skippable T4 in my honest opinion. Yes, it is adding extra damage and a bit of bleed, but I don't think it's worth the T4 on her. Command Undead, this is her special. She's going to start with this ability, so you will be able to use this on her first turn. It's going to attack the primary target for 290% damage and apply Disrupted and Bleed. It's going to call a random non-summoned Undying ally to attack the primary target. Very key that it is the non-summoned. So that will be Zombie Juggernaut if you have not had him summoned, Zombie Scarlet Witch, or Zombie Iron Man. Obviously, if the Zombie Juggernaut gets summoned by Zombie Scarlet Witch, then that should not be called to attack. You'll also gain an assist from a random Undead Asgardian ally or a random Greg. The T4 on this is going to add 60% damage, so that makes that 350% damage to the primary target. It is also going to mean the Disrupt lands for 2 turns, and the bleeds are, you basically apply 2 bleeds. This is a very nice to have T4. It isn't one that you necessarily need to make her work. So we move on to her ultimate, Death Knives. Again, this is a ability that is available on the first turn. It's going to clear 3 death proof from all enemies. It's going to attack all enemies for 350% damage. Spread 4 negative effects from the primary target to all secondary targets. This will not spread stun. Apply 2 regeneration to self and all non-summoned Asgardian and Undying allies. This attack gains 5,000% extra focus. This attack cannot be blocked, and characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. The T4 on this is going to clear all barrier from all enemies, and if Zombie Iron Man is an ally, it is going to spread all negative effects instead. This, I believe, is an essential T4. It is what she is used for, basically with how she goes in line with the team. This ability will spread all the negative effects that the team put out to start off with, and that then causes the team basically to attack itself through Zombie Iron Man's passive ability. Goddess of Death, this is the passive. On spawn, she's going to summon an undead Asgardian or a Greg. If Zombie Iron Man or Zombie Juggernaut is an ally, she's going to gain stealth. So that's quite nice because that means you can put someone that needs to be on an island out the way. You can sort of split your team up because she's got that stealth. On an undead Asgardian's death, summon an undead Asgardian, gain 1 death proof to a maximum of 3. On turn, she's going to heal herself for 5% of her max health and plus 5% of max health per non-summoned Asgardian or Undying ally. So basically on turn, she's going to, with Zombie Scarlet Witch, she's going to basically heal herself for 20% of her max health. Gain 15% max health, gain 15% max health per non-summoned Asgardian or Undying ally. And if this character has 2 or more non-summoned Undying allies, she's going to gain 90% focus for herself and all Undying allies. In war defense, on non-summoned Asgardian allies' death, summon an undead Asgardian. Okay, that's to do with when they were a war defense team, the Asgardian team. Gain 25% damage. Non-summoned Asgardian and Undying allies gain 25% damage. And the T4 for this one, when this character drops below 50% max health, if Zombie Iron Man is an ally, summon an undead Asgardian and apply Taunt to all undead Asgardian allies. This can only trigger once per match, but that then does get you the 2 Gregs out on the field, which she will then consistently bring back when they die. So that is a very good ability and a essential T4 in my opinion. So Hela is a villain, cosmic, mystic, controller, undying, and she's got the Asgardian trait as well. Her ISO selection, I would say she is best as a raider. This is going to help with that crit damage and also the crit chance on that death knives. It's also going to potentially put some vulnerables out for your characters to attack into. Now on the team, she's actually the 4th best for health. So she's quite squishy. She is the 2nd highest for damage, the 4th highest for armor, the 4th highest for focus, the 3rd highest for resist, and at a speed of 110, she is the 3rd fastest on the team. However, because of the passives and that work, she actually becomes the last member of the team to go. Zombie Iron Man is next. He was the next character from the Undying team to be released. Repulsive Blast is his basic. This is going to attack the primary target for 290% damage and apply bleed. Mind Control the primary target to attack the most injured enemy. Fill speed bar for all summoned undead Asgardian allies by 30%. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. This attack cannot be blocked. And the T4 on this one is apply 2 bleed, and on war offense, plus 50% damage for the controlled character. This is a very nice to have T4. I personally don't have it on my Undying and on my Zombie Iron Man, but it is a very nice to have T4. Undead Barrage. This is going to be an ability that you start with, so this is going to be what you open with most times. Attacking the primary target for 450% damage. Apply bleed for 2 turns, disruptive for 2 turns, and ability block for 2 turns. He's going to mind control the primary target to attack the most injured enemy. The controlled enemy gains plus 50% damage for this attack. So very similar to if you had T4'd the basic. He'll speed bar for all summoned undead Asgardian allies by 30%. fill the speed bar for a random Hela ally by 10% and gain 500% extra focus for this attack. This attack cannot be blocked, and on war offense, this attack is unavoidable. And the T4 for this is going to basically, if Hela is an ally on war offense, you're going to apply trauma for 2 turns to the primary target and safeguard for 2 turns. Now, again, because this is just a war team, this is a nice to have T4. It doesn't need to be put on to make Zombie Iron Man work, but it is a very nice T4 to have on Zombie Iron Man if you have them overall. Corrupted Unibeam, this is his ultimate. Clear all barrier on all enemies and attack for 500% piercing. This attack gains 100% crit chance against any enemy with bleed. Prolong the duration of all negative effects, excluding trauma and stun on all enemies by 1. Apply defense down for 2 turns to all enemies. Fill speed bar for all summoned undead Asgardian allies by 30%. And gain 1,500% extra focus for this attack. Characters killed by this cannot be revived, so it is another permakill attack. And the T4 on war offense, if Hela is an ally, clear all charge from the primary target and the enemy with the highest resistance. This is a decent T4. Again, it is only on war offense, so it's not something you have to invest in unless you are heavily invested into war, but it does make Zombie Iron Man go up that next level in war as a war, and Undying as a whole as a war team. However, here is what you definitely want to be T4ing is the undead upgrades. On spawn, gain defense up for 2 turns. When an enemy takes damage from bleed, mind control that character to attack the most injured enemy. The mind control character attacks for minus 30% damage. Gain plus 50% max health. Non-summoned and dying allies gain 50% max health. If Hela is an ally, 100% chance to revive with 50% of this character's max health, plus 15% for each non-summoned undying ally. So that will give you a grand total of 95% if you have all 4 members of the Undying team. On war offense, the mind control character attacks for plus 30% damage instead. On spawn, if this character has 2 or more non-summoned Undying allies, apply defense up for 2 turns to all non-summoned allies. On spawn, if this character has 2 or more non-summoned allies, Undying allies, apply speed up for 2 turns to self, 1 random Juggernaut and 1 random Scarlet Witch zombie ally. If this character's health is greater than or equal to 50%, stun cannot be applied to this character or any ally, so that doesn't matter whether they're undying or not, that is team-wide. And if this character's health is greater or equal to 50%, enemies cannot gain death proof. And the T4 on this is going to add, on war offense, enemies with bleed take an additional 25% damage. Zombie Iron Man is a villain, global bio brawler, Undying, an epic tagged character. I would recommend Skirmisher. This is just to make sure that you land things like those ability blocks and to try and take off those charges. This is going to obviously give him the extra focus that he needs to do that. Zombie Iron Man's place within the team, his health, he is 2nd highest health in the team next to Zombie Scarlet Witch, who is a brand new character. His damage is 4th. His armor is 3rd highest on the team. His focus is 2nd highest on the team. His resist is 4th highest on the team. And his speed of 109 actually puts him at the 4th fastest character on the team in base speed. However, with how he works, he actually ends up going ahead of Hela. So he is slightly faster than Hela once all the mechanics are involved. Zombie Juggernaut, I was really stoked when I saw this guy last year when he came out. And Mac Italy put a brilliant video together of him. I'm going to leave that link down below. So Zombie Juggernaut's basic is Decayed Blow. It's going to apply 2 bleed to the primary target. It's going to attack the primary target for 290% damage. And then you're going to chain to 1 adjacent target for 270% damage and spread all bleed from the primary target to the secondary target. Counter attack will break this chain, and this attack is unavoidable. And on War Offense, if the primary target has bleed, attack the primary target for an additional 10% of the target's max health. And this attack cannot be blocked on War Offense. The T4 for this is just going to add an additional 60% damage. This is a skippable T4. It is just a damage T4. So if you are tight on T4s, definitely one you can skip. Unstoppable Object. This, you're going to start with this ability, and this will probably be the ability that you will open the battle with Zombie Juggernaut. You're going to attack all enemies for 360% damage and apply slow for 2 turns. You're going to prolong 3 random negative effects on each target. You're going to gain 3 deflect and 1 taunt up to a maximum of 2. And then on War Offense, it is going to apply +1 trauma to a maximum of 2 to all enemies. It gains 1000% extra focus. That's to help land not only the slows and the traumas, but also to help flip those negative effects or prolong those negative effects. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. And the level 7 upgrade, or the T4 upgrade, is going to flip taunt and immunity on all enemies, and plus 90% damage to all enemies, and prolong all negative effects on each target. This, I think, is an essential T4 for Zombie Juggernaut. Crushing Death, this is his ultimate. So he's going to clear all negative effects on this character. If negative effects removed, heal self for 5% per negative effect removed. Heal self for 10% of this character's max health. Spread all bleed from the primary target to all adjacent targets. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 400% damage, plus 30% additional damage per bleed, plus 30% drain. This attack cannot be blocked. On War Offense, prolong all bleed to up to a maximum of 3 on each target. This attack is unavoidable. And the T4 on this is going to add an additional 100% damage. So that means you're going to attack the primary and adjacent targets for 400% damage, plus 30% additional damage per bleed. And then you are going to have a 50% drain on this. So you're going to heal yourself up for 50% of the damage that you deal. This, again, is an essential T4, I think, for Juggernaut Zombie. Undead Momentum. This is his passive. On spawn, gain taunt. When attacked, if this character has charged, fill the speed bar for this character by 30%, plus 5% per Undying ally. This makes him go zoom. When this character drops below 50% health, clear taunt and heal block from self, gain +2 death proof up to a maximum of 3, and apply taunt to a random undead Asgardian ally. When any Undying ally is summoned or revived, gain +1 charged up to a maximum of 5. On death, if this character has 5 or more charged, revive with 50% of this character's max health, plus 10% max health for each non-summoned Undying ally, then lose 5 charges. Stun cannot be applied to this character. Gain 60% resistance. Undying allies gain plus 60% resistance. And he'll also gain 30% damage per charged on this character. On War Offense, he's going to spawn with 2 charged. He's going to gain plus 10% per drain per charged on this character. And if this character's health is greater than or equal to 50%, enemies cannot gain speed up. That is a really key ability, locking down some of the speed meta that is around in Alliance War. The T4 on this is going to gain a plus 40% resistance for self and all Undying allies. So that is going to make you have 100% resistance. And on War Offense, if this character's health is greater or equal to 50%, lower the enemy resistance by 75%. So that is not only making you harder to land negative effects on, but also making your opponent easier to land negative effects on. And for that reason, I would consider this to be an essential T4 for Zombie Juggernaut. Zombie Juggernaut is a villain global bio protector, Undying with the epic tag. At low stars, I would recommend that you put Fortifier on your Zombie Juggernaut. However, once you get him up to sort of 4, 5 and some red stars on him, Striker is the natural choice for Zombie Juggernaut. Now, how does he look in comparison to the rest of the team? Well, his health, he is third highest in health, but do remember, he is a tank that respawns, so that is perfectly fine. He is third highest in damage, but again, a lot of the damage is going to come from those bleeds, which he's going to spread around. Armor, he is second, as you would expect from any good tank. Focus, he is second. Again, something you wouldn't expect really, but they have some decent focus on them. Resist, he has the highest resist in the team. And at a speed of 112, he is the second fastest on the team and does actually end up going second when you put this into game. And now we come to the newest edition, Zombie Scarlet Witch. Her basic is Necrobolt. It's going to attack the primary and adjacent targets for 180% damage and apply heal block for 2 turns. This attack cannot be counterattacked. On war offense, this attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. The T4 on this is going to add 60% damage to the primary and secondary targets. And if this character is not at full energy, apply bleed to the primary target and call a random Iron Man zombie or Juggernaut zombie ally to attack the primary target. Now, generally, war battles don't last that long. And so I don't actually really see when this T4 is going to come into play. Let me know down in the comments below if you think I'm wrong on this one, but I think this is a T4 that you can skip, or is certainly a very, very luxury T4 if you are going to put it on. Wretched Reality, this is the special, and this will be what you normally open the turn up with. It's going to attack the primary target for 170% damage, plus apply Disrupted for 2 turns and 2 bleeds. Going to then attack all enemies for 170% damage, applying +1 bleed up to a maximum of 5 to each target, or to each enemy, sorry. Apply Safeguard for 2 turns to self and all allies. This is very, very key. It stops any of their buffs being flipped. On war offense, it's going to apply immunity to self and all Undying allies. That protects the team completely. This attack gains 15% damage against enemies with bleed and cannot be counterattacked. And on war offense, this attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. The T4 on this one, I would consider to be an essential T4. It's going to add 70% damage to all attacks. So that is going to be 240% damage. And then it's going to apply immunity for 2 turns rather than 1 turn to self and all Undying allies, which means you have Safeguard and immunity on war offense for 2 full turns, giving you 2 full turns of really pain for your enemy. Chaos Unleashed, this is the ultimate. This is going to clear all barrier on all enemies and flip 3 random positive effects into negative effects on each enemy. She's then going to attack all enemies for 350% piercing and prolong the duration of 3 random negative effects by 1 on each enemy. This attack ignores defense up and cannot be counterattacked. And on war offense, this attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. And the T4 on this, again, I would say is a nice to have going towards an essential. It is going to flip all positive effects on each enemy. And it is going to prolong the duration of all negative effects on each enemy. So the flipping of the positive effects on each enemy and then prolonging the duration of all those negative effects, that is going to be amazing. And Power of the Damned, this is her passive. Characters killed by Zombie Scarlet Witch cannot be revived. So every attack that she does is a permakill. On spawn, barrier self for 30% of this character's max health, and she needs that because she needs to stay alive. On any turn, if this character does not have exhausted, flip 2 bleed on self and all Undying allies. On turn, if an ally Juggernaut zombie has died and is currently not an ally, summon Juggernaut zombie and apply taunt to that summoned Juggernaut zombie. This can only trigger once per match. That is quite nice and is going to become better as she gets more stars on her. But again, with war battles being as quick as they are, I haven't really seen any footage yet where this has made any sort of impact on the game. The rest of it on war offense on spawn, barrier all undying allies for 30% of this character's max health. Summoned Juggernaut zombie spawns with +2 charged. That doesn't really matter, that's only on the summon. If this character's health is at greater or equal to 50%, then this character and all undying allies cannot gain trauma. That is brilliant. Not being able to have trauma is very good. If this character's health is greater than or equal to 50%, enemy characters cannot fill speed bar for themselves or allies. This does not apply to speed bar gained through normal means. This shuts down the likes of Super Scroll, Old Man Logan. It shuts down Hive Mind. The amount of teams and things this shuts down is absolutely amazing. Combine that with the fact that Zombie Juggernaut shuts down speed up. So basically your opponents are fighting at their base speed, with this team is just going to outspeed the entire other team that you're going against. Now the T4 on this one, I've got on the infographic that I probably wouldn't do the T4. There is a key point that might do the T4, and that is against Mercs for Money, because they apply quite a lot of bleeds and that can be a little bit more than what you can deal with. So this could be a good T4, but at the moment I would say it is a luxury T4 at best, but one that I personally will not be T4ing. And she is a villain global bio mystic. This is very key, although she doesn't actually use any mystic gear pieces to my knowledge. Support and Undying, and she's also got the epic tag. I have put her down as a raider because she has all those attack all enemy attacks in her special and her ultimate. It just makes sense to have her as a raider when she's hitting multiple targets. There is a case for striker, but I do think that the raider is going to be the ultimate best choice for her. Her health, she is the highest on the team. You would expect that because she is a brand new character. Her damage is the highest on the team as well. This is all when they're at equal star ratings. Again, that is something you would expect from a character like Zombie Scarlet Witch, who is brand new. Her armor is first. Again, doesn't surprise me. Focus is first. No surprise there. Resist is second, just behind Zombie Juggernaut, but he does have the extra resist inbuilt. And at a speed of 115, she is the fastest on the team and will open up for you in every single war match. And so here you have it, guys. This is the infographic. I will be posting this to my YouTube community page for you guys to have. It is also available on the Jetson Squad Discord, which I will leave a link to the Jetson Squad Discord down below. So what do you think of the new Undying team? Are they going to be a team that you put any investment into? Don't forget, if you found this video helpful, please do consider giving the video a like and maybe even share it with some of your alliance mates. And until next time, everyone, stay positive.